So just what is the employment climate like out there at the moment if you've been laid off by a bank or an insurance firm? Listed recruitment firm Talent 2 deals with this market every day, and earlier I spoke to Talent 2's General Manager in New South Wales, Amanda Burke. Amanda Burke, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tiki. Nice to be here.
Well, now, look, we hear about job losses in sectors like manufacturing and retail. What is the jobs market like in the finance sector for you?
Oh, in the finance sector at the moment, it's very flat, quite soft. We're expecting it to be like that probably for the rest of the year. But we're hoping that it's such a strong financial sector. The news in Australia is good in relation to the finance sector, so we're hoping we'll start to see a lift next year.
Are there very different stories within the finance sector?
We're seeing restructure and downsizing occur, and probably some what we call organisational redesign, where you're actually probably reducing the numbers overall, but you're bringing in some new hires as well. So sometimes it might be in relation to losing a layer of management. Sometimes it might be employing someone more senior to cover two people's roles. And we're also seeing some different trends where contracting is really starting to increase.
Yeah, and presumably less security for those employed.
Less security, but there's a number of people coming out into the workforce. It is a soft market, there aren't opportunities, so it's a great way to fill some time while you're waiting for that right career job to come through again.
How much time on average, once somebody is made redundant, I mean, say they're earning, I don't know, $150,000 a year, a reasonably good job in banking, how long can they expect to be out of the market if things go well?
Probably at a senior level, 3 to 6 months. You know, if they're very much at the top of the game, it can take longer. But probably 3 to 6 months is about the time. And it's interesting. Whilst we're seeing a slower market in some parts, it's very busy in some of the other areas. So it's particularly some spaces like the digital area or transformation, where they're changing processes and IT. And so there are some markets that are really busy, and employers are finding it tricky to get the person they want because those people have multiple job offers, which is funny because one part of the market is slow and it's hard to find a role, and the other is busy and vibrant.
So if you've had a more traditional role in, say, one of the big four banks, what should you be trying to do in terms of upskilling to look attractive? Because I understand that it's no longer the case that if you leave one bank that you can hook up with one of the others fairly easily.
That's where contracting comes back into play, where someone might take a contract and it might be in a different industry. People are looking at different industries rather than staying, say, within financial services, because some of the skills, for example, IT, accounting, marketing, are transferable across different industries. So some people are changing industries and moving out of the financial sector. And then I suppose there's also some retraining where they're getting some skills. It might be in financial planning, or it might be in digital, or so there's some retraining happening as well.
Is there pressure to be more mobile?
Some of the markets in Southeast Asia are very busy at the moment, so if you've got mobility, you've got opportunities to look in Victoria, which is also a big market for Australia in the financial sector, or offshore.
What about salaries, Amanda? Have they gone down? Has there been very much a downward pressure?
It's certainly been employers' market at the moment, so there has been pressure on salaries. The salaries have come down. But again, in those high demand, low supply areas like natural resources, utilities and power, obviously mining, those other industries. But in financial sectors, it's probably come off as a generalisation, probably around 10% off the pace.
And in the investment banking sector, I know there have been a lot of job losses there and more coming. Big global companies like JP Morgan, Deutsche, Credit Suisse, HSBC, they are all going through big cutting phases. Are we going to see a lot of investment banking blood spilt in Sydney and Melbourne?
We are seeing that. So there are limited hires in that space at the moment. Really critical hires are being replaced. And also sometimes replacement where they've lost a key person that's important to the growth of their business. And then the hot spots would be natural resources and power and utilities. And some of the emerging market players, they're also hiring. And interestingly, you're seeing people coming out of these businesses and going into maybe consulting roles or advising roles in commercial banks because of some of the mergers that are happening at the moment.
A lot of movement. Amanda Burke, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Tiki. Good to chat.